can see spoilers for book 3 on my corkboard. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Can you tell that I filmed a lot like a month ago so that I'd have content up until today, and then realized I needed a video to post this week and scrambled to make one? Yeah, obviously that's my brand. Civil Blood comes out on Monday. So I'm feeling some feelings. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that a little while ago. I did talk pretty candidly in my story about how I'm struggling with my mental health at the moment, even though there's so many things to be excited about. I am excited about the release of my debut novel, which is so fucking cool. I am still depressed. I still do have depression, and I've been struggling with meds and things like that. So I haven't really been as excited as I feel like I should be, because depression doesn't care if you have reasons to be happy and excited and fulfilled. It's still gonna kick your ass. But I wanted to just kind of talk to you guys about like what I've learned on this book release journey, and to say thank you hugely to thank everybody who was a part of my strength team, to thank everyone who just shared my release date announcement, my cover, to thank my portrait artist, to thank my editor slash agent slash cheerleader, to thank my publishing company, to thank my family and my boyfriend and everybody and my friends that supported me and loved me and sent me nice words and good vibes on this journey. Being a writer is super duper isolating, and when you finally put one of your babies, one of your projects out into the world, you have an overwhelming sense of pride, and with that also comes imposter syndrome, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of retaliation, fear of controversy, all those types of things that come with writing a story, especially if it's not just like a fluffy, nice story, if it deals with hard themes, if it deals with hard allegories, if it deals with frightening or dark imagery or current topics that need to be discussed. You get a little freaked out when you realize that your opinions on things are hugely portrayed in the work that you write, and that people are gonna get to know you or think they get to know you from the content that you write. And I find that people have a hard time separating a character's choice and an author's choice, or even a character's voice and an author's voice. If all of your characters had the same opinions as you as a person, your book would be boring. It would be one-dimensional. It would be pointless. There is no conflict in having people who are all similarly aligned in their thoughts and views and opinions. There's no complexity there. There's no tension there. There's no conflict. There's no story when you have people who just think the same. And if everyone in your book thinks like you, they're all thinking the same. So just as like a mini nano pep talk to all of the writers out there, don't be afraid to have a controversial character. Don't be afraid to have your characters say controversial shit. Don't be afraid to have your characters have opinions that differ from yours. I write people, or I have written people who have been homophobic, who have said homophobic shit. I'm bisexual. Do you really think I'm a homophobe? Absolutely not. But it's part of that person, that character's character. So I just want you to remember not to judge an author necessarily by the content of their characters, you know, like butcher a Martin Luther King Jr. quote while we're at it. And I also want to speak to the writers out there and remember that when you get to a stage where your book is being published, especially if it's by a small press, you have to remember that the people dealing with your book and making your dream come true are only human beings. It doesn't hurt to send a follow-up email. It doesn't hurt to remind them of something you spoke of in the past. This is probably not the only project they're working on. This is probably not the only job that they have, especially if you're working on an indie press, or you're working with an indie press, excuse me. If you have a day job, you know how hard it is to balance those two things. And yes, they are trying to run a business and get your business out into the world, but they are still human beings. So you definitely need to have an open channel of communication with whoever is working on your book, whether that's an editor, a sensitivity reader, a critique partner, an agent, a publisher, anything in that realm. You need to make sure that you have an open channel of communication with the people who are helping you. Contract doesn't equal a promise. Yes, it says that you're going to get your book published by these people, and yes, you're gonna get this amount of money for it, and you're gonna get this amount of royalties for it, and you still retain these rights. It doesn't mean if they tell you your book can come out on October 1st, that your book is gonna come out on October 1st. You didn't sign anything agreeing to that. That was the projected date. That was the date they said was safe. So that's what you went ahead and you promoted. But tons of things can happen in the meantime. You can, run into an issue with distribution. You can run into a formatting issue. You can run into a huge plot hole after going through the final read through in the arc. That can happen as well. So I just want you to remember that, like, you can set expectations and you can have plans and goals, like a plan and goal to film a video and your dog won't stop barking, that kind of plan. Are you done? You can set expectations and have plans and goals, but plans are made to fail. Like, they just are. And you really have to let go of your rigid expectations and goals. Doesn't mean you shouldn't set them. You should absolutely set them. But learn to be okay with goals not being met when you think they're gonna be met. Because that's something I'm really struggling with. Publishing Civil Blood has been life-changing. The book hasn't even come out yet, and just the process of publishing has changed my life. It's changed the way I look at books. It's changed the way I view every single aspect of a book, from just because I've been so hands-on, and also because there's a lot of things that I have no control over. And and I'm working with a small press. If you're like with a big 5 or something, you have absolutely no control. At least I was allowed to choose my cover. At least I was allowed to say what went on the back of the book. At least I was allowed to, have input on certain formatting things. You're publishing with someone big, fucking forget about it. You're not gonna have any of that input. You're giving your baby to someone else to raise, and then you're gonna get it back when it's like a done deal. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. But even with all that said, no knock to self-publishing. I think self-publishing is a fantastic thing. I could never, at least with the 40-hour work week that I have right now at a different job, self-publish. I'm overwhelmed as it is, just with the promotion and marketing for my book. I'm not formatting it. I'm not editing it. I'm not getting it distributed. I'm not doing any of that. I'm purely marketing it and keeping in touch with my team. And I am overwhelmed because I also have a 40-hour job and a boyfriend and a family and a dog and friends and movies to watch, shit to do. Like, I have things to do. I have to decompress. I can't just work. And I do often go from my 8-hour job to my writing job, and then I go to bed. Like, sometimes you just need to not. And if I was self-publishing, I wouldn't have the opportunity to just not. Like, I'd have to work like a dog to get that done. And I don't know if I have that in me, honestly, besides the fact that it's expensive to put money down to start self-publishing. I don't know if I have that kind of work ethic. I love writing, and everything else about the process is just Greek to me. I also wanted to use this video to address something that I don't think a lot of people realize when they follow me on social media. I've been writing the same kind of story for over 10 years at this point. I submitted it to 10 to 20 different indie press houses that would take unagented manuscripts, and I submitted to probably 40 agents and was either straight up rejected or never answered at all. So I want you to understand that if you're being rejected left and right, if you've never won a pitch wars on Twitter, if you've never gotten like any of those contests on Twitter, neither did I. If you didn't get the author mentor match, neither did I. If you have been rejected by agent after agent after agent, so have I. If you've been rejected by what you think are shitty presses that you're just throwing your query letter at as a last resort, so have I. Everybody gets rejected, and you have to just be like, okay, move on. I've fallen in love with agents who have rejected me or have left the business completely and I didn't know, and I found out and I was really bummed about it. I've been rejected by Amazon Kindle Scout, which I threw my whole heart and soul into and was my very first venture into trying to get published. And that shit hurt. And then I went and did my edits and I submitted to all kinds of other presses and I got rejected, and that shit hurt. I got told by the CEO of a press that my book was too toxic for them to print because they don't like to print things with horror imagery because it can make people's thoughts turn toxic. Like, she basically, like, in a nice way, attacked my genre and the shit that I write because it didn't fit her brand. A no would have sufficed, but she gave me a reason and that was fine. But it hurt. I got rejected and it fucking hurt. And I just want you to understand that you just have to keep trying. You have to keep trying. You cannot get discouraged. You can meet with people and they can help you out. You can talk to people. They can help you make it better. You can tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak, and it could be the perfect book. And an agent will still not accept it. They will still not want to represent you because it's not their taste. Because that's not what that publishing house may not accept you because that's just not what they're looking to put out at this time. And sometimes it has nothing to do with you. Sometimes it does, and sometimes you need to edit, and sometimes you are writing your query wrong. You should do your research. But sometimes they just don't want what you have at that time. So I just wanted to say thank you. I love you. Don't give up. I am full of gratitude and wonder at your support, and I am speechless when I think about get up. I'm an emotional bitch, yeah. I get emotional when I think about how much time and energy some of you that I never met in my life have put into promoting me in my book, to loving me in my book, to reviewing me in my book, to telling your friends about me in my book. And I just couldn't ask for a better group of people to be around me, to be following me here on YouTube, over on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. I love you. I love you. I love you. And in the meantime, Civil Blood's coming out in 2 days. What does that mean for me? What's next? What's the situation? Here are a couple things that I will say. Now that it's out, promotion doesn't stop. Now that the book is coming out, I need your help more than ever. I need your support and your promotion and your love more than ever. If you buy the book, tell everybody that you bought it. If you like the book, tell everybody that you liked it. Write me a review on Amazon. If you get 50 Amazon reviews, they put your book on also recommended lists. They hype your shit up, okay? So give me an Amazon review. Tell your friends about it. Donate it to your library or request it from your library. Call your local bookstores and ask for Civil Blood. It will not ever end up in a brick and mortar store unless there is a demand for it. So if you and like 5 of your friends in your area call your local Barnes & Noble and ask for this book, guess what? They're gonna get it, okay? And if you call your library and ask for it, especially in Orange County here where I am at least, they get it for you. So if you wanna see my book on a shelf, 'cause I wanna see my book on a shelf and not just my own bookshelf, ask for it. I guess there's like a platform called Goodreads. I think I had a Goodreads at one point. Hype me up on Goodreads. I don't really know about that. That's just a whole nother social media platform I don't have time for. I barely have time for like Twitter and Tumblr. I don't have time for Facebook. Like, I just don't know social media very well. I just do Instagram like mostly, and now I do YouTube, but like, teach me about Goodreads, and if it's a good thing to get hyped up on there, hype me up on Goodreads, review it on Goodreads, I think. Oh my God. Tell your friends, request it, leave me a review. There was one more thing, but I don't really remember what it was. But in the meantime, I make videos every Saturday, but I am taking a hiatus because your girl is exhausted. I'm taking a hiatus all of October. I will be back in November with new content, and I will be doing NaNoWriMo this year, so look forward to lots of NaNoWriMo related videos and blogs. And my dog says it's time to wrap it up. I'll see you guys in November. If you're interested in what I'm up to in October, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's really time to go, I guess. All right, you ready? Are you ready?